Coming up on this show, we're talking about the Lions' latest injuries, what we know from what Dan Campbell spoke. NFL power rankings just came out. Where are the Lions at compared to where they were last week? Update on Julian Okwara, and we're going to get into the Lions' schedule. Let's go. If you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Just a couple away from 42,500. If you're one of those, then go ahead and subscribe, folks. Let's get to 42,500 subscribers. Let's get into the Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers here really quick. If you don't know, the Lions game got flexed. Week 6, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a 1 p.m. game. Now it is a 4:25 game. Why is that? Because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is 3-1, and of course the Detroit Lions are 3-1, and it's a better matchup for ratings. This is going to happen all year long if the Lions keep winning and they're playing against teams that are winning as well. You can look forward to games like the Dallas Cowboys at the end of the year. That's definitely one of those teams, maybe the Baltimore Ravens, something like that. When you're playing well and the other team's playing well, they're going to put you on prime time, and that's just hashtag fact. So it's good to see as a fan, as a content creator. I gotta say, it's a little bit, it's not as cool as 1 p.m. because 1 p.m. you get everything straight, then you got the day rest for the rest of the day, watch other football games. But when you're doing the 4, that's not the case. But it's going to be really good to see the Lions go into Tampa Bay and have a bigger audience. Again, like I said in the beginning of the show, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Right now I'm at 42,496, 4 away from 42,500. If you're one of those 4, go ahead and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get to 42,500. We're going to get into the JMO situation here. And Jameson Williams is going to be coming back for this up-and-coming game after the suspension was lifted. But there's going to be limited snap counts, and this is what Dan Campbell said. He says, I'm not worried about working. He will. It's just about polishing all the little things, Campbell said. We also know if he does play, he can't play 60 plays. That's not smart. We can't do that to him. For me, it's dependability. That's it. Reliability, dependability. Go get lined up. Know where you're supposed to be, Campbell said. We're going to get in the right route, depth out on you, and we can count on you being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and that's it. I'm not looking for yards. I'm not looking for explosiveness, not looking for touchdowns, man. Just be a reliable receiver like any of those guys in the room. That's it to me. That's a good year because we're about winning. It's not about one player. It's to help us win. And you say, man, we want to see Jameson Williams go out there and put a ton of yards this Sunday. That's not going to happen. If you look last year, he had 9 targets, 1 reception for 41 yards, and 1 touchdown. Also, the connection between him and Jared Goff was not working in training camp. It is a little bit slow to get there because the speed of Jameson Williams is a little bit different compared to what Jared Goff's used to, and there's been questions about him understanding the routes. And if you're the Detroit Lions, you want to make sure that you have players that understand exactly what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. If you look at the depth chart for the Detroit Lions, you can rely on Mon-Ra St. Brown out there. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's nowhere the route to be. Him and Jared Goff's got the connection. Josh Reynolds, he's not the most dynamic wide receiver, but damn, he's been blowing up as of late because him and Jared Goff are on the same page. You don't want to remove him out of the lineup for Jameson Williams. And Khalif Raymond right then and there. We know what Khalif brings, folks. He is a speedy wide receiver. The connection is great. He's got great hands. He knows his routes. He knows the schemes. So you don't want to reduce that there. Now, if you're Ben Johnson, I think the one person you're looking at here is Marvin Jones Jr. Jameson Williams should get, I think, his amount of touches because Marvin Jones Jr. hasn't done anything this year. I don't even think he's had a single catch. So that could be where Jameson Williams rolls. But again, you're not going to be doing 4 wide all the time. And if you do, sometimes you're just going to move out Jahmyr Gibbs to a slot receiver position, because he can be used as one of those players all over the offense for Ben Johnson. So if that's the case, are you going to right now remove St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond? No, you're not going to do that. So it's going to be with Marvin Jones Jr., and it's going to be a selected minimum amount of snaps. You want him to know what he's doing first, folks. That's the number one thing for this young player, is to know where he's going to be on the field and know his routes and set him up for success. We want to make sure he's successful. That's really it for me. Make sure he's successful and good to go. That's all you got to do. Again, we're going to do this again. Subscribe to the channel, folks. Let's get to 42,500. We're 4 away. With your subscription, it does help. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you don't like overpaying for tickets, you need to get Game Time with the killer app, last-minute deals, lowest prices guaranteed. You could stop stressing on football and start getting hyped for fun you will have. It is easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, whether that's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. With their lowest prices guaranteed, it's the Game Time guaranteed, which means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section in a row or less, Game Time will even credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. Then in the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of this app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move your phone left to right, you can see the surrounding area, kind of like a 3D live photo. So download the Game Time app, create an account, put in the code LIONSCHAT for $20 off your very first purchase. If you go to the redeem code section, plug in LIONSCHAT, and sign up with an email. It's just that simple. Terms do apply when you create an account. Put in the redeem code LIONSCHAT for $20 off. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. If you're buying Lions tickets this year, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And what about the Detroit Lions in the power rankings? They defeated the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay on Thursday. What does it look like now? What does the big media think that the Lions are at? Well, here you go. Sports Illustrated put them at the 6th best team in the NFL. That is 2-team jump from 8. Sporting News, 6, stayed with 6, so they've been on target right there, because I think that's kind of a good spot for them. Pro Football Network staying at 9th. They've been pretty much young punks for the Detroit Lions all season long. ESPN 8th, stayed with 8th. That's okay in my opinion. CBS Sports, another organization I feel like has been poo-pooing the Detroit Lions. They went from 10 to 9. Yahoo Sports stayed with 7. USA Today went from 1 spot from 6th to 5th. And The Athletic stayed at the 7th spot. I look at these power rankings, I think they're about right. Again, CBS Sports and Pro Football Network has been pretty much down on the Detroit Lions all year in the rankings. Hell, one of them at 18 just 2 weeks ago. So they're all over the place. The consensus is, for those two is off, but everybody else, you see where the median is. You see where teams generally have them. I think 7, 8, or 9 is just fine. 6 through 9. I think any of those spots you can put in there for the Detroit Lions. You got other teams like the Seattle Seahawks, who just won and they beat us. The Dallas Cowboys looking really good. Obviously the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. San Francisco 49ers look like juggernauts. So if you're wanting to go any in that area, I'm perfectly fine with it, and I think that's viable. But what about the Detroit Lions' remaining schedule? Again, what do the teams that we play look like after the last week that just occurred? Well, we play the Panthers at home. Right now, Lions are big favorites. Lions going to win that game here. They're 0-4, so you think, man, that's going to be a 4-1 Detroit Lions team. Then we're at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who's surprisingly pretty good. They're 3-1. Their offense is firing. Is same with their defense there, so that could be a difficult game potentially. Yes, I think the Lions probably should be favored in that game. Then you're at the Ravens. It's going to be a difficult game as well. You got Lamar Jackson, mobile dual threat quarterback, decent defense. So maybe the Lions lose one of those games. Then you're at the Raiders at home on Monday Night Football. Lions should wipe the floor with them. at the Chargers, not the Raiders there. That could be a difficult game for sure. Then we continue on, and then we get an easy streak here. Bears, line should be favored. Packers, line should be favored. Saints, the line should be favored. The Bears, the line should be favored. The Broncos, the lines should be favored. They legitimately could, push out some big wins right there, right? So you're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe at 11 wins right now. 10, 11 wins. Then we finish it off with the Vikings, who is not that good at Vikings, but they still fight strong. You're at Dallas. That's going to be a really difficult game. And then you're at home and get the Vikings. So if you're looking at the schedule right now and you're thinking, what the record legitimately could look like for the playoffs, I think 11, 12 wins is very possible, potentially 13. The Lions should win the division with that type of record, whether it be 11, 12, or 13, for sure. Hell, even 10 may be winning the division because of the issues that they're having right now with the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. So the Lions are sitting pretty when you look at this schedule. There's going to be a stretch. Maybe they lose 2 games in a row, but then there could be a big stretch where they win 5 straight games. I think the Lions' schedule is favorable. I think they have an opportunity to win the division. I think anything less than winning the division after you look in the schedule and how they started would be a failure. I don't think it should be a wild card thing for the Lions. I think they need to host a playoff game, win this division. After how it's set up already, and the Lions are slowly getting healthier as the season goes along instead of getting worse from a health perspective, the Detroit Lions have the ability to make legitimate noise, host a playoff game. Then it'd be, who would the Lions be playing? There's other teams like the Dallas Cowboys who are probably not going to win their division. Maybe they do. It's them and the Philadelphia Eagles right there. Pretty much it, right? And then you got the Seattle Seahawks. That could be a team that's a wild card team because you got the 49ers probably winning that division. And you look at who else, who potentially could do it there. Maybe the Rams come in, and that would be interesting if the Lions host the Rams. So we'll see how it goes, but the Lions are pretty favored right now if you look at that schedule. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. 4 away from 42,500. If you're one of those 4, subscribe. We're doing Lions watch parties on Sunday for the Lions and Panthers game. It should be a good one for sure. With that said, folks, adios.